Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight it will be the stars and cars of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup coming to you from Irwindale Speedway, located in Irwindale, California, just outside the city of Los Angeles. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here tonight as we're getting ready for, quite frankly, what I think is going to be a fairly interesting race. Because there is a whole lot that is going on here from a variety of perspectives, not the least of which is something we're going to have to talk about early on here as we get ready for practice to wrap up, and that is the championship battle. Thomas Lewandowski sitting on 947 points. He's hit a commanding 100, almost 120-point lead over James Watson, but this battle for second is a good one. Only 9 points separating James Watson and Brandon Buchberger. Josh Batista, Derek Love separated by 10 points in the battle for the fourth position, and we haven't even hit the drop weeks just yet either. This one is the championship battle is going to start getting crazy here pretty darn quickly as qualifying is out on the speedway. Derek Love very, very quick in the practice session that these guys finished up just a little bit ago. Got to thank everybody that's tuned in here on YouTube. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us, and make sure you do the likes and subs and all that kind of stuff if you're so inclined. Channel membership, super chat, super thanks, all there available as well. D-Love top of the board, quick time, first lap in 16.623 seconds. Lane Doyle up the second quick at a 16.942 off of turn number 4. Lap number 2 for D-Love will be good, but not faster. 16.623 will be the lap time of record. Let's pick up Jeffrey Stanton in the Napa Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina, number 94. Working his way off at turn number 4. A little bit of a bobble under the start-finish line. Stanton second quick. He is going to go quick time. 16.617, 16.61 with a 7. A blazingly fast lap for Jeffrey Stanton. Lap number 2 now underway for Thomas Lewandowski. He was third quick at a 13.666 off at turn number 4. What's lap number 2 look like for Stanton? It will be just a tick slower. He will stay in position at number 3. Let's pick up the red ream rocket of Josh Batista getting ready to start lap number 1. He's off at turn number 4. James Watson currently fourth quick. Brandon Buchberger with the Dean's Farms number 3 machine. He's up inside the top 5. Lap number 1 for Josh Batista, good for 6 quick. Only 19 thousandths back in Buchberger. 16.722 the lap time for Batista. Off of turn number 4 under the checkered flag. Lap number 2 will be, it's an improvement up to third quick. 16.648. Nice lap for Josh Batista. Pick up the 10 of the AJ Camargo. 18 cars on the entry list tonight. The AJ running out of Brazil where it's the dead of summer. It was 90 plus degrees today. I'm jealous. Snow falling outside the NRN World Broadcast headquarters here as we're down to 2.5 minutes left in qualifications. 17.026 is lap number 1. 16.926. Lap number 2 for the AJ Camargo. Looks like we may have everybody that wanted to take time has taken time for tonight's session. Robert Tibbs, Goen Wynn, and Richard Chedester have not taken time yet. Those cars numbered 14, 15, and 18 respectively. Well, we say that Tibbs is going to make his way out onto the racetrack in the Remington Arms number 14. Got to run this place so high up around the outside to be fast. That's where the quick guys have been all night long. Lap number 1 for Tibbs will score 15th quick, 17.942 seconds. Ooh, big slide off of turn number 4 for Tibbs. Lap number 2 is a tick faster, but does not improve on the timing tower. He will remain in position number 15. Down inside of 50 seconds left. You're going to have to hustle if you want to get a lap on the board at this point as we get ready for a 90-lap feature event here tonight. Track temps during the practice session earlier up over 107 degrees. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Started choking on myself there for a second. Talking about track temperatures in the practice session, the drivers were complaining about track temp over 107 degrees. How about this one? 115 degrees. Under 81 degree skies. Says partly cloudy. We'll see how that one may affect things as the race goes on, but this race tonight is definitely going to be a hot one. Jeffrey Stanton was your quick timer. Not sure if he was talking about running either a Phoenix setup or the Kern County setup. I'm not sure which one he elected to go with. But with the field getting out onto the speedway, let's get everybody fired up to get you a look at your starting lineup for tonight's race. Well, we say that. That was definitely not the right paint schemes. So we'll do the refresh again here. There we go. Starting on the pole in the Napa Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina, number 5, it is Jeffrey Stanton with a lap time of 16.617. Only 7 thousandths back. James Bond on the outside of the front row. Who is that man? It's Derek Love in the Street Side Classics, number 1. Row number 2 tonight will have the Red Ream Rocket of Josh Batista, 32 thousandths back. To his outside will be Thomas Lewandowski. James Watson in the Team Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network, number 39, lining up to the inside alongside of the Dean's Farm Driven to Save Lives, number 3 of Brandon Buckberger. Lane Doyle out of the great state of Texas, lining up alongside of South Carolina's Todd Taylor in the number 12. Those cars will occupy row number 4. Row 5 tonight, Brett Edwards on the inside, Steve Costley in the Amico number 13. Row number 6 tonight will have the Geico number 16 of Scott Holder alongside of the Me-Fine Team Watson Racing Setups number 7 of North Carolina's Zach Evans. The AJ Camargo, the Team Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network number 10. To his outside will be Scott Schroeder, the Boomer Button Boxes TWRS number 11. Robert Tibbs and Julian Trelo on row number 8. Row 9 tonight, Go and Win and Richard Chedester. Pace car is in field, getting ready to see the green flag. Here we go. We are underway at Irwindale. Derek Love trying to go to work on Jeffrey Stanton. Stanton running that kind of middle, right along the dashed lines. D-Love way up on the high side of the racetrack. Drivers talked about it could be Slide Job City. How about power move outside for D-Love? Battling for the race lead. Thomas Lewandowski, Josh Batista, Brandon Buckberger fighting. Right now, 17 cars all within about 5 seconds of the race leader. New fastest lap hit belongs to Derek Love, and he's your new race leader off of 2. Josh Batista trying to make a way inside lane work. That's not a line that we saw much in practice. That number 20 machine getting absolutely freight train, sliding towards the back of the pack. Batista now back to position number 6. We mentioned tonight's race being 90 laps long. This is going to be a long one, and nobody running really long stints like that during the practice sessions, at least from what I saw. Sign on checking in saying, hoping Jeffrey matches a result I just had in a NASCAR 2003 league. I can't believe you're still racing NASCAR 2003. That is absolutely fantastic. Double OX Racing saying this should be interesting. It's one word for it. Batista trying to look inside of Watson. There's just nothing there yet. Robert Tibbs falling off the back of the lead pack as well. So now 16 cars all within 7 seconds of the race lead. Thomas Lewandowski, Brandon Buckberger, James Watson, and Josh Batista battling. That's going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th on the Speedway. Oh, and Batista's up into the outside wall. Josh Batista scrubs down the outside retaining wall. Doesn't look like too much damage on the front of that number 20 machine. Maybe a little out of kilter. But the car good for now. Side by side, Brett Edwards, Todd Taylor. Edwards down to the inside as we go under the caution flag for the first time tonight. Looks like it's going to be an issue for Richard Chedester. We'll take a look at the NRN replay here, see what happened to that machine. Just slides it down inside off of turn 4. Out of the way. That's what brings out the caution, is just getting that machine looped back around. Not too bad. No harm, no foul, at least a little bit early on. Bob Reed checking into the comments, giving some Dean's Farms some love. That one, that sponsor on the side of Brandon Buckberger's number 3 entry tonight. Sign on saying, just left a ruby red lipstick mark on that outside wall. It's just a kiss. It was only a kiss. And Nate Hauser checking in with a bit of a Ricky Bobby shout here for Brandon Buckberger as well. If you're not first, you're last. Let's go, Brandon. Josh Batista is on pit lane, bringing that number 20 machine into the attention of his crew for some service. Basically, I think trying to just take a look and see what the damage options were there, but unfortunately, Batista will go a lap down in the process. Very, very long pit lane here at Irwindale. Irwindale is one of the neater layouts on the iRacing platform. There's the outside Irwindale. That's what we're running tonight. Then you can see down to the inside where all the pit boxes are. That's actually an internal layout. You can also run the inner outer or outer inner using either turns 1 and 2 of the outside, 3 and 4 the inside, or vice versa. Plus, it has a figure 8 layout. And figure 8 with jumps for that matter. So if you want to play with the jumpy trucks, or quite frankly, fly skippies off the jumps, Irwindale probably the place to do it. As we are once still circling behind the iRacing safety car. Should be going back to green this time by, with 75 laps remaining and a 26:03 strength of field. There you see the pace car make the turn. Field is under the control of Derek Love. Nice consistent pace from D-Love off of turn number 4. Green flag goes back in the air. We are underway once again. And it is a great start for Love. Able to pull away from Stanton. Josh Bautista already coming around Robert Tibbs to move up into position number 16. Steve Costley, Zach Evans battling side by side. Evans with the preferred groove on the top side of the speedway. Costley slides up in line off the turn number 2. Maybe takes a little bit of the air off the nose of the AJ Camargo. Kind of everybody hugging that dash line up on the outside of the speedway. Follow the charge of Josh Bautista back through this field. Outside of Go and Win into turns 1 and 2. Inside of Scott Holder at 3 and 4. Oh, hold on to it, Scott. Nice save, Scott Holder. He's going to lose a position back to 14. And that Geico machine is a handful right now. Slide a little bit forward here. Lane Doyle and Brett Edwards battling for the 6th position. Doyle way up on the top side of the racetrack. Up in that Harry Gant groove through 1 and 2. Brett Edwards trying to make the inside lane work. There is just not enough speed down there yet. I think where this really, we start to get the potential for interestingness and shenanigans as we pick up Brandon Buckberger is a little bit later in this race. With the dynamic track effects that are in play, that outside lane is going to go away. There's just no two ways about it. So a driver who can run either way up against the outside wall like we've seen Derek Love do, or can make pace inside, kind of where Jeffrey Stanton is. You may see those drivers make up some time here as Stanton has closed it down to about 2.5 car lengths. Oh, as Love gets held up by the lap car. Side by side for the leadoff before that time. It was Jeffrey Stanton at the line. Slide job 1 and 2. Stanton bounces it off the fence. Derek Love back to the race lead. Oh my goodness. Hot and heavy here at the front of the field. Josh Bautista, Steve Costley battling for 10th as Bautista continues to charge through the field. He did not lose a lap, making that pit stop. So that means if we get another caution, Josh Bautista just might still have a shot at bringing this one home. Back to the front, call to car length and a half as they get to turn number 3. It's D-Love 1, Jeffrey Stanton 2. Just slightly further back, Thomas Lewandowski and Brandon Buckberger. James Watson holding on to position number 5. Brett Edwards about 8 tenths back in 6th. Slide back, pick up Lane Doyle, Todd Taylor in the fight for the 7th position. His lap number 30 goes up on the scoreboard. Let's slide a little bit. Oh, maybe not. Let's go back to the front. Coming around lap traffic. Jeffrey Stanton trying to take advantage. Just nothing there yet. I know this comment is a little bit shady, but, well, throwing a bit of shade. Had to know it wouldn't be long before we saw a Stanton slide job. We're seeing another one. Kiss the wall off of 2. Throwback to Iowa earlier this season. And you nailed it with this one. Don't think it'll be the last. No, we just saw number 2. Here comes number 3. Dive bombs from Stanton. checkpoint there. He backs out of that one. I think these, at the mid part of this race, really come back to bite Jeffrey Stanton later on. Victoria's checking in. James told me to tell you this. Your nickname is now Graham Cracker. I was called that as a kid, among other things. Also, go James. Side on saying, Jeffrey will run you fairly and cleanly. Yeah, he's one of the good guys out here. Maybe. Oh, and there's contact. Derek Love into the lap car. Huge hit for Derek Love. Oh, my goodness. We're going to stay green, but the front end of that number one is absolutely mangled. Oh, Derek Love is going to be pissed. Approaching the halfway point, and it's only half a second. I see the comment about the blue flag song. In the oval side of iRacing, it's a, hey, somebody faster is coming. It's not a move over. It's not a mandatory. It's really on the race leader to navigate that lap traffic cleanly. As we get a caution flag for the second time here tonight. As it looks like our leaders are kind of diving down to the inside. Oh, man. Lap car spinning himself back around. Let's take a look and see. Go and Win having some issues. Also, Richard Chenister. Looks like Go and Win. Yeah, that was just getting passed by the race leaders down on the bottom side of the speedway. That's kind of the best way to stay out of the way. Pick up that 18 machine. Oh, man, he almost got Josh Batista. Big up into the outside. Walls tears the front end off. Oh, and then just backs it up right in front of everybody. My goodness. So, as we operate under the caution flag here for the second time tonight, I love this comment from 00X Racing. Stanton and Love are two drivers that will absolutely race each other hard until one makes an error. And that doesn't happen often. Stanton being out front changes the dynamic a tad because he does look faster. I don't know that Jeffrey Stanton is faster on outright pace. Sometimes it's making the move, like that slide job that we've seen in 1 and 2. Making the move and getting yourself out front can be psychologically just as important as having a car with that true pace. But I also agree with this, the follow-up here. It is easier to chase than lead here, though. Yes, it is. Josh Batista on pit lane, and it looks like it may be the end of the night for Josh Batista. The whole field is cycling past, so there he is. Josh Batista sitting on pit lane upwards of 20 seconds. Tough break for Batista as he's going to head back out onto the speedway. All that work, gaining track position back, you got to give it all up with a trip down pit lane. However, if you take a look at the front end, it looks a lot cleaner than it did when he went down pit lane. So maybe a little bit of Josh Batista getting the nose of that car squared back away as the pace car is going to come in, and it will be halfway home here in this one at the Irwindale Speedway. 45 down, 45 to go. Green flag back in the air. Stanton opened the door ever so slightly for Derek Love through 1 and 2 that time. Just nothing happening there for the Street Side Classics #1. Does it again through 1 and 2. Love gonna have the run this time. Stanton all the way to the bottom, tries to open up some ground. See if we try the crossover from Love. It's there. D-Love down to the inside. Maybe a little baby soft slider is what we got coming here. Love slides up to the outside wall. Here's Stanton back inside to 3. Oh, now Stanton puts it up in the fence. Love able to clear the pass. Oh my goodness, what a show. Let's go on board with Thomas Lewandowski. Following the battle between Derek Love and Jeffrey Stanton. Stanton again, just a little kiss of the outside wall. Oh my goodness. These guys are all over the place right now. Stanton way to the inside through 1 and 2. He's got to back out. Lewandowski not able to take advantage. Lap car going to clear down out of the way. No harm to the race leaders. Well, you really hear Lewandowski having to back out of the throttle there. Leaders running such different lines. Oh, Stanton really had to grab the binders that time. What a show out of the top 2. How about Brett Edwards having a nice run up into the 6th position? He is up 3 and your hard charger of the night to this point. A couple of other battles a little bit deeper in the field. Buckberger, Watson, Edwards all within about 2 or 3 tenths of each other. Let's slide back here. Pick up Buckberger and Watson in the battle for 4th. Watson just not making the move yet. And you wonder, are these guys maybe doing a little bit of tire conservation back here? Edwards having to look inside of Buckberger. He pulls back in line. Oh, James is going to be so excited when he watches this feedback. The comment coming in from, tasty. Long time no chat, but great stream as always and great to hear your voice. Well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words. Oh, Stanton up into the fence again. Big lead now for Derek Love. That comment of chasing versus passing, though, as Watson has gotten around Buckberger for the 4th position. All it takes is one lap car that, well, doesn't play nice. We are right back to an absolutely monster show here at the front of the field. 1/3 of a second between Derek Love and Jeffrey Stanton with 27 to go. One of the racetracks we visit so infrequently we don't have a custom camera pack for yet. That's going to have to change. Unfortunately for Josh Batista, his race has come to an end in the 17th position. Go and win also on pit lane. By the way, Hasty, if you like the sound of the voice, you might not want to tune in on Wednesdays because you're going to see my face too. We got the stream issues sorted over the last week. We will have bottom split or as close to bottom split as we can get racing action coming for you this Wednesday night. Let us know what you want to see. You want to see ovals? You want to see jumpy trucks, road courses? If you want to make my life miserable, say road courses because they're just not fun this week. At least at the license classes that are available to the account that I'll be driving on. Oh man, Plunkberger right up underneath the back end of Watson. Oh man, Plunkberger looking right there, trying to get that car inside of Watson. A little bit of a twitch out of the 39. Nice pass by Buckberger, and Watson not able to come back with the crossover. A little bit of a kiss to the outside wall there for the Dees Farms number 3. Let's get up to the front of the field. Jeffrey Stanton is right back with Derek Love. Here goes Stanton. Man, we got to whip the camera around there. Tries the slider, nothing going. You can almost see Stanton back off at like the midpoint of the corner. Interesting point coming in here from Double O, saying the leaders are running themselves ragged. Maybe a little bit as D-Love gets it up into the outside fence. Stanton gonna throw the slider in 3 and 4. He's got to back out. You would think that you would be able to see the lap time fall off when you look at the 5, 10, and 15 lap averages. 15 lap average for Derek Love, 17:035. The 5 lap average, 17:079. He's only 35 thousandths slower in those lap averages. They're being just incredibly consistent on pace. Now, with that being said, the best lap for Love is a 16:748. They are off of what best times were. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're kind of for this stage of the race that far off pace. Coming up towards one of the lap cars with 12 to go. I believe that's going to be the 16 of Scott Holder. Sign on saying he wants to see me running road courses. Of course you do. Formula V's at the Charlotte Legends road course. Ugh. Nate checking in saying the boys in Madison have some work to do on that Dees Farms cars for these short tracks. This is one of those oddballs. I'm going to call it a weird one, an oddball, whatever you want to call it. IRP-ish in the lane you have to run is Stanton. scrapes the outside wall once again. It's also not a track that the series visits all that often as Derek Love gets up into the outside fence. Stan with the huge haymaker bomb of a slider into 3. It's going to be D-Love at the line, but he may not have the top side of the racetrack to use. Stanton looking back inside. He wants the crossover, and he's going to be there at the entrance to turn 3 with 8 to go. Oh, he does it again. Little bit bigger scrape that time. The only guy I know that can make a slide job in a crazy silver crown car with bolt-on Kardashian bodywork. Something tells me Jeffrey Stanton is a blast to watch on dirt. Lots of wall taps, dust flying in the top groove. Yeah, this boils down to who's going to screw this up with 5 to go. Who makes the next big mistake? Stanton looks so quick in chase mode. Just not able to clear Derek Love. Add it back to within a car length to the entrance to 3. Call it 2 at the line this time. 4 to go. Stanton's going to be there in lap traffic. Could come into play in a very big way. Also, can't forget the possibility of a green-white checkered finish. Back behind the leaders, Brandon Buckberger starting to close in on Thomas Lewandowski in the fight for the 3rd position, but there's 2 to go here at the front. Jeffrey Stanton has had far more success with the slide job into turns 1 and 2. I just don't know that he's going to be close enough. White flag is out, 1 lap to go here in Irwindale. Love a little bit high at the entrance to 3. Oh, Stanton's on the apron trying the slider. It's not going to work off of turn number 4. Derek Love gets the win at Irwindale. Jeffrey Stanton comes home second, followed by Thomas Lewandowski to round out the podium. My goodness, what a race. That car. Good Lord, Derek Love practically yard sailed that thing, hitting the lap car. But he will park it on the front straightaway. Take it to victory lane, and let's take a look at your race results. Derek Love up by half a second over Jeffrey Stanton. Thomas Lewandowski almost 4 seconds back in the 3rd position. Brandon Buckberger, James Watson complete the top 5, 6 through 10 tonight. Brett Edwards, Lane Doyle, Todd Taylor, Steve Costley, and Zach Evans. Several of those cars having very nice runs here tonight. Hard charger of the race will come from page 2 of the leaderboard. The AJ Camargo in 11th, 12th place. Julian Trello up 4, and he will be your hard charger tonight. Followed by Scott Schroeder, Scott Holder, Robert Tibbs, Goen Wynn, Josh Batista, and Richard Chedister. 18 cars in a race that took 29 minutes even to run. A darn good show, and now it's time to talk to our race winner. We got to bring him in first and ask him. First off, Derek, a complete pucker factor Zulu when the lap car basically stopped in front of you. Did you think you yard sailed the car at that point?
I thought that was it. You know, I got on the mic, you know, before we even got to him and telling him, hey, man, go low. Because we had that issue before. He was in the middle, and we snuck by right on the outside. I think Jeffrey went at the bottom. We ended up 3 wide. Made for some good entertainment, I bet. But I thought he was going to run that middle again, so that's why I stayed high. Obviously, I should have went low. But I thought he was going to run that middle lane again and just, you know, I could sneak by on the outside. No, obviously that did not work. But clearly it did not affect the car, to my surprise.
Yeah, that thing was impressive tonight. And then the next question that I have to get asked is, we don't normally see slide jobs on asphalt unless Jeffrey Stanton is running second to you. What's going through what's going through your head during those? Because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. A lot of brake is involved for both of you guys, I'm sure too.
It's kind of like those dancing shows on TV. Jeffrey and I have done this enough times. It's kind of a routine at this point. You know, we have fun. I anticipate what he's gonna. I can always anticipate when he's gonna throw a slide job. So you know, so I can be prepared. Sometimes it's just I can't do anything about it, and that kind of was in my mind at the end of that race, where just being in first wasn't enough, and my only concern was I needed to at least have 2 or 3 tenths on Jeffrey because I knew he was throwing that slide job. So I had to build up as much gap as I could. I saw him hit the wall a little bit, and it was just like 5 or 6 to go, and I was like, he's going to catch back up. He's very quick on entry. I was pulling him on exit, but I knew, and then 2 to go or so, he catches up a little bit, and I had to push and keep it in front of him, and it put on a good show, that's for sure.
It was a fantastic battle to watch. That is absolutely for sure. The last question would be, you mentioned how he was quicker on entry, you were quicker on exit. Is that entirely down to the gears that you guys were running, or is it something a little bit more setup wise, not state secrets or anything, but is there something else, or was that just gearing tonight that let you have that great corner exit speed?
A little bit of both. I got to give credit to the gals back at the shop. We looked at the temps and the conditions, and we knew this was going to be a race won on the outside. So I don't think I ever ran the middle here once in practice. I just ran laps around the outside, built the car for that. And I knew if I got it out front that I could just maintain it there, as long as I just, that slide job is the only way to get around you, but you can just pivot and turn the car down and get back around them. I think I was on 475. I don't think Jeffrey was on that. I meant to ask him. I think he was on the 60, so that would make sense where he's just building that speed on entry where I'm hitting the chip. And that just kept me from overdriving it. And at that point, then I could get on the throttle earlier. I'd just give up a little bit on entry and make more on exit.
Well, I'll tell you what, Derek, fantastic drive tonight. Led a race high 78 laps. Congratulations on the dub, and do all the sponsor plugs and shout outs here before we let you out of here.
Yeah, for sure, man. I just gotta say, it's just so much fun running the wall. I was ripping that wall, and there's nothing else like that. So I was excited to see these temps, man, and just run all those laps up there. I think I caught the wall maybe once, twice at the most. But shout out to the gals back at the shop. The Streetside Classic Machine did it tonight, and I hope to see you back up here again, man. We've been in a slum, but we're back on track a little bit, so we'll be back up here for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us here. And now it's time to bring in our runner-up finisher tonight, Mr. Jeffrey Stanton. And I'll tell you what, bud, that was it was a show you put on. We were kind of joking about the slide jobs that Derek knew was coming. How do you throw a slider on pavement exactly?
Just send it. That's the biggest way of saying it. Some of those sliders I didn't even mean to throw. It was just we got in bad traffic, and I was just trying to get some clear space, try to clear ourselves out without wrecking each other. So sometimes I'd throw a check slider just to make sure I wouldn't, so I can get back into a different rhythm if I felt like I was too close, if I was going to run into Derek or whatever. I didn't want to, make any contact or anything.
Well, yeah, it was interesting to watch that. And then the incident that you and Derek had with the lap car, at one point you were 3 wide with them. The next time you just see Derek absolutely running the car over. What's going through your head at that point? Because I would imagine the one of them spinning inside where you were was probably pretty high on that list.
Derek probably said it right before this interview. I was just hoping he would go low, and he didn't go low. So it was one of those deals.
Yeah, that's kind of putting it mildly. Watching you guys battle this hard, absolutely fantastic show. Congratulations on another podium tonight. And before we let you go, do all the sponsor plugs and shout outs here for us.
Yep, I want to thank Napa Rockwell and y'all for broadcasting and everybody else.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. Let's see. We've got one more that we have to do, and that'll be our third place finisher tonight, Mr. Thomas Lewandowski. And a little bit calmer of a race for you than what we saw for the other guys. Talk us through your night a little bit, because it seemed like the car was pretty good, but maybe not totally there on outright pace.
Well, I think I just wasn't there at outright pace. I mean, I'm in Buffalo, and we just got hammered with lake effect snow, and I do snow plowing. So I've had like 4 hours of sleep the past couple days, and then the Bills game, I got done plowing 10 minutes before the Bills game started. So, and that ran until, like 45 minutes before the race. So I didn't have much running time at all. And this is probably one of my worst tracks, if not the worst. So I was just of the mindset of just keep it off the wall, and we'll just, we'll do it like that. We'll just take what I can get.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to find the game score here. You're at least coming out a happy man here with Buffalo picking up a 31-17 win here tonight. But it just seemed like this was a race that it kind of from where you had Brandon chasing at times, James was chasing, Brett Edwards was up there. A lot of different guys were taking shots at you, but it didn't seem like anybody was able to get really hyper close to the rear bumper.
Yeah, I was not really paying attention to my rear view mirror that much, just because I needed all the eyes focused in front of me, because I've hit the wall here once or twice before, and I think last time we were here I hit the tires entering turn one and like flipped it into the catch fence. So I didn't really push it that hard, but it's kind of worked out where like they would battle behind me and I pull out a little gap, and then that's just kind of happened, back and forth, and I didn't really have to challenge my sleep deprived self too much.
Well,
to finish P3.
We'll take it. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to come hang out with us in the booth here. Get some rest. And before you do that, though, do all the sponsor plugs and shout outs you want to get in here.
I was going to shout out, you guys for doing these broadcasts, and Larry, over to Drill Al, he was helping me. He was, telling me like if anyone was closing in and stuff, and he was a help, big help. And then John and Marcus and Bob and everyone. And thanks again, guys, and hopefully I'll get to talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here as we go back to the live look of Irwindale Speedway. Man alive, what a show we got here tonight out of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup. This one was good. Tomorrow night's, I think, is going to be equally as interesting. The iRacing Sprint Car Cup will be right back here at Irwindale Speedway. More power, less weight, and quite frankly, massively sized tires on those pavement sprint cars. They are going to be a crazy, crazy show. That will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time here as they will hit the halfway point at the conclusion of tomorrow night's race at Irwindale for their 2024 Season 1. Wednesday night, we'll be doing the live stream, some bottom split racing action. You don't want to miss it. I don't know what's worse, the driving or the language that gets used by these guys and ladies in the bottom split races, but they're a mess. And then we head off Thursday night. Maybe you'll get to see some of this in a USF car if that's the direction we want to go. But the USF Pro cars, the PM18s, head off to Lime Rock Park up in Connecticut. That race will air 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday night's live stream will kick off right around 8 o'clock or so. We'll run either 8 to 10, 9 to 11, something like that. But looking forward to seeing all of you then. Thank you all very much. We appreciate the kind words from everybody in the comments tonight and all of y'all coming to hang out with us. For everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great night, everybody.